So in a way, Red Books Day is the day of mother language of the working class in the world. The working class mother language is the language of class struggle and class politics. That is why we need to celebrate more and more that we do not read books alone. We do not read books privately in our private spaces, but in a collective spirit to build a collective movement to march to a better future. That is the essence of Red Books Day. From next year onwards, let us all celebrate. We take active part in celebrating Red Books Day. In February, from the Tricontinental Institute, a dossier called The Joy of Reading was published. Also considering that this month, on the 21st day of February, the world celebrates Red Books Day. Red Books Day is the day entire world, the people who love books, the people who stands with independent publishing houses, the people who stands with and express solidarity with the others who are targeted by the state, by the ruling class, by the right-wing elements, and it is the day people celebrate the collective life, to rescue the collective life. That is the essence of Red Books Day. It's an international day. It's a day that people celebrate the spirit of internationalism. That is the day Communist Manifesto was published in 1848, February 21. That is also the day of International Mother Language Day. So in a way, Red Books Day is the day of mother language of the working class in the world. The working class mother language is the language of class struggle and class politics. That is why we need to celebrate more and more that we do not read books alone. We do not read books privately in our private spaces, but in a collective spirit to build a collective movement to march to a better future. That is the essence of Red Books Day. From next year onwards, let us all celebrate. We take active part in celebrating Red Books Day. And this year, this Red Book, as part of Red Books Day, the dossier was filled with the artworks which were included in the Red Books Day art calendar, which is, I think, available outside because Leftward Books had published it. 12 artworks from across the world, different countries in the world, by 12 artists from different countries based on 12 books in different languages. So all those artworks were the part of this dossier. And this dossier you can also read and freely download in the Tricontinental website. It is available in a lot of languages, already in 10 languages, but it's going to be translated and published in more than 20 languages in the world. It's all will be freely available. And the dossier tries to communicate that how reading is, the culture of reading is important in democratizing the society and also as the major agenda of revolution. No revolution aims to transform the society, to get away with the rigidities of landlordism, to get away with the rigidities of conservative past, can survive without taking up the crucial agenda of democratizing the culture. That has been the case. Take it any revolutions in the world, be it Mexico, China, Russia, Cuba, Vietnam, anywhere, wherever people had tried to build a new society, changing the character of society was a major important thing. So the literacy campaign was very crucial in all this because without that, without creating a society, you cannot run revolution in the ready-made institution which was built by the ruling class already. If you want to change it, you need to change the institutions also and build a new spirit among the society. We were in the dossier has looked how this was possible in Mexico, China, and in the case of Kerala. So in Mexico, everywhere the bourgeois culture that prevailed across the nations in the 19th century adopted reading as a sign of class status. So only that elite class were allowed to read, had the access to education. In Mexico, where the presidency of Benito Juarez, 1858-1872, expanded schooling and the public industry. But the cost of a newspaper was far greater than the daily earning of a worker or a peasant. That is where the collective reading and the collective effort comes into place. 1920, 1910, after the Mexican Revolution, there was an effort to change this societal setup and bring the democracy in a truer sense in the everyday life of the people. On that, from 1920s we will see multiple projects initiated in Mexico to ensure that the culture of reading, literacy and participation in the public life reaches to everyone, to all workers, peasants and the ordinary people in Mexico. Because of which, if in 1910 the literacy rate in Mexico was 22%, that rose to around 70% within the span of 30 years by taking up these projects. How was this possible? This was possible in two ways. One, by strengthening the public education. You can only strengthen public education if you build a stronger public institutes, introducing breakfast, food for the children, also ensuring better libraries and books for the children was the one side. Second, what will you do with those who cannot go to schools, who are adults, who are already working? You need to create an alternative platforms in the rural areas. That is why the rural and urban libraries were built for the workers and peasants, and also started distributing books to the people who can engage in this. After a point of time, we all know that Mexico also had gone to the grips of neoliberalism, that the class character had changed. This social commitment had withered away at multiple points and all, but there was a social force in Mexico which wanted to rescue this, which wanted to ensure that this project is going on in Mexico. So a lot of programs were there. I'm not going into details and all. In 2008, Mexico's national program for the promotion of reading and the book, and also in 2009, that to ensure that to create a brigade to read in freedom, which means people will get books freely, digital copies which is accessible to everyone, so that people will have the read, will enjoy the right to read. And also in 2000, in the year of 2000, there was a program called Toward a Country of Readers. Ensure that everybody in the society reaches to book and they are engaging in these things. In 1986, the General Directorate of Libraries began a program called My Summer Vacation in the Library. So what is your idea of your vacation? What is your idea of joy? What is your idea about enjoying the life? There they made reading is part of it, and the program called My Summer Vacation in the Library was introduced and made a new culture possible for the people. Same in China also. At the time of kingdom, China was the place where the largest number of illiterate people lived. This was transformed. 1949, China had 55 public libraries. 1956, within 7 years, the number of libraries rose to, public reading rooms rose to 182, more than 182. From 55 public libraries to 182 public reading rooms. So from having the literate percentage of being 20% to 2017, China's literacy rate rose to 97%. Today it is almost 100%. This was possible, and also they ensured that not only the children who will be dragged to the culture of reading, but also the parents. Without ensuring that parents understand the importance of their children reads, their children has this culture. You cannot make it as a social project. Maybe you will be able to limit it to a few sections, but it cannot be a social project. So that project was also there in China. Today, the Shanghai Library is a public library, one of the public libraries in China, which is open for everyone. Means there are section for children, there are section for adults, there are different topics. This has become one of the most vibrant public spaces in China today, and there are more libraries like this are being built in that also. Cuba, what has happened? Cuba was, most of the people in Cuba, more than 90% were illiterates during the time of Cuban Revolution. But within the span of 6 years, they managed to get that most of the citizens, people in Cuba, will be literate. They are not only learning the characters, they are not only learning the alphabets, they are learning how to think critically, how to be an active participant in the social change or the building of a new society. This is not a top to bottom process, but to prepare the bottom, to prepare the people to take part in a social project. So in that, reading becomes the crucial element. Same in Kerala. Also, there are people from the Kerala library movement also stands here. But the library movement in Kerala, the roots are in the anti-colonial struggles. There is there was a photo, I could not get it. These are the libraries, some of the libraries in Kerala, but almost all libraries are in the same conditions also. But the public library movement actually started in the history of anti-colonial, anti-landlord and the anti-caste movement to create a public spaces. In that, I remember there was a person in my village called M.K. Kunyapan, who is 94 years old now, still alive, is there. He used to say that, I was taught letters by E.K. Narayanan, who was the chief minister of Kerala, not while being the chief minister, but in 1940s, when he was the leader of the peasant movement. The peasant movement, the Kisan Sabha, used to organize night classes for the workers, for the peasants, to teach them the letters, because they understood to change the society, to overthrow the power of the landlordism. The land reform is not sufficient. Land reform alone is not sufficient to overthrow the power of the landlord. You need to create a new consciousness, because landlordism also exists in the society with a fabricated divine consciousness, creating a divine consciousness among the people that these people are top of us. They are the people who read, who have the knowledge, who are near to the God. That is how caste also exists. To break that chain, you need to bring a new consciousness where the people should have the access to books, reading, and the capacity to build a capacity of critical thinking. That is why the night schools, the workers and peasants used to go secretly meet in the night schools where the leaders will come and teach them how to read and write, will ensure them the books. That became later reading rooms, then the public libraries. The secretary of the Kerala State Library Council had already told that had spread to more than 10,000 libraries. For every 3,000 people, one public library. There are areas, the number is more. For example, in Mayil Panchayat, with a population over 29,000 people in the Mayil Grama Panchayat, one of the 93 local governments in Kannur, the district with the largest number of libraries in Kerala. This locality has 34 libraries affiliated with the Kerala State Library Council. That means that there is nearly one library per square kilometer, each with a capacity of around 872 people. For 872 people, there is one library with at least 10,000 books, digitalized, access to everyone, all those things. And this library had become spaces not only for books, but also for all kind of public activities. It had become the most vibrant centers of culture in there. So this is how, I conclude. This is how the culture of public reading had contributed in building a new society. Let us all take part in that. I again reiterate, let us all be the organizers of Red Books Day, not only February 21, but every day in our life, and march to a brighter future. Thank you.